I've got 5 fun, fast, and easy ornaments that you can make using supplies you already have in your crafty stash. And let's make some fun, fast, and easy holiday ornaments. I'm Erin Reed Makes, and join me while we play with all things crafty and creative by making projects, going to fun, crafty events, and just all things creative. Welcome to my channel. Let's jump into our first craft, which are these super cute little pom-pom snowman that are so fun and easy, and they take mere seconds to make. So first, you're gonna grab some pom-poms. I grabbed mine from Dollar Tree, and I grabbed 2 different sizes. There was 3 in this big batch, and there was 6 in the little one. And you can combine them to make a big and tall snowman, like you see here. Or you can take the 2 normal size ones and put them together, and you make a different kind of snowman. They both work, and they're both super cute. I grabbed these on Amazon, and there is a ton of colors. They're so super cute, and each one of these also has the little scarf to go with it. Now, if you're a knitter and you want to make these yourself, by all means. I am not a knitter, crochet, or any kind of fashion, which makes this a little bit of a faster craft to make. But whatever you want to do you and have some fun. I think these would be super cute if you crochet them yourself, if you know how. I don't. The other thing you need is also going to be some twine or some ribbon or whatever. And I have a really large gauge needle here that we're going to just string this on, and you're just going to string this through. This is going to give you the little, tassel at the top so you can hang it on your tree. It makes it an ornament. If you want to have a shorter little hanger to what goes on your tree, you can make it shorter. If you want to make it taller, you can make it taller. We're just doing an overhand knot, so take it in, and we're going to go around and then pull through. And I just do it twice to make sure it doesn't completely break as we're doing it. Only time you're gonna need some scissors is just to cut your twine, or ribbon, or baker's, whatever you want to use, and then pull that through. Small pom-pom is what fits in here. So once you have it on here, just kind of raise your little cap up a tiny bit. Find where you want to be your center of your snowman, which to me it's like right here. Lift that up, grab some hot glue, and then just pull it back on top, just to kind of hold it in place. And then I'm going to do it on the back side as well, so it has more than one little place that it's glued down. That's it. And then bring that back down. And we're not adding faces to our little snowman. They're just gonna be blank. If you want to add faces, googly eyes look super cute. You could add a little nose, get some felt out, you can have some fun with this. All right, next we're gonna put our 2 pom-poms together. So let's find the center. I kind of like fluff it out a little bit, and then put a nice big dollop of glue. And don't just go like right smack in the center. Go around to the edges. We wanna make sure this gets nice and secure. Probably overkilled how much glue I have, and then smash them together. That's really hard, right? Smash, smash. Now time for your little neckerchief, your scarf, and wind it around the back, and then you're gonna start placing it. There we go, find your center, and then I'm gonna lift up, I'm gonna put glue across here. Here we go, and then place that down, and then I'm gonna put glue going across for this guy, so just across here. Oh my gosh, that was like the easiest little craft in the world, I swear. And look how adorable that is. So stinking cute. If you want to add some glue to the back just to kind of hold everything together, you're more than welcome to. Just, come in here on the back side and add a little dollop of glue, and you can then glue that. If hot glue is not your jam, and I totally get if it is or is not, then you can easily go in and you can use like a fabric glue. Another option would be something like fabric tack. That could easily work. And then kids can make these and they can have a ton of fun. So stinking easy. And you don't even have to do the twine, the top. I like the twine because then it just makes it easy. And I always have tons of twine. But look how super cute and adorable those are. Our next ornament is inspired by the little Debbie snack cakes that look like little Christmas trees, and we're gonna make it out of clay. I mean, just look how adorable this is. First thing you need is some clay. I just got this one online from Amazon. I have also used in the past the Crayola Model Magic. Okay, that took me 3 times to say that because, grab yourself a clay, roll it out, and try to get it as smooth as possible. Get yourself something that looks something like this, and then start forming it into the shape of a pyramid or a tall triangle. What are we aiming for here? The little Debbie snack cake. That's kind of the size. So hence, you can, if you want to look it up, or, it's about, what, 3.5 inches or so. Ballpark it, it's not a big deal. And we want to make this look a little more tree-like. So we're gonna kind of squish this up a little bit. Here we go. And then one thing we're gonna do is we need to make the little bottom piece. This was a prototype I made. This is one of the oopsies I did. Is I didn't give it a base. So my kids were like, well, what's that shape? I'm like, I get it. I'm like, it has the shape, it has like the colors, it has all the stuff, but it didn't have the bottom piece of the tree. and it didn't, and my lines were too straight. So this was round 2 that I did. So now it looks more tree-like. You can see the tree parts, see the peak, you've got the base, and I made all of my icing look like it was just wonky, like it was really fast done. And it looks more realistic, almost to the right size. A little bit taller than the original one, but that's okay. And we're gonna pull out a section we're gonna use for the base. And it's gonna get smushed and it's gonna get better, but we need to pull out a section for the base. Don't worry, it looks like a funky alien right now. It's okay. It's gonna get better because we're gonna get smushed in and I can pull in stuff. It's clay. This is all amenable, right? It's all fixable. All right, so I know it looks like a crazy alien. Flip it over and look, it's starting to look better on the other side because I was using that as the base, right? So now we're gonna come in, make our tip and start flaring out. So you kind of do little pinchies and then we're gonna kind of come in. And another thing you could do is you can come in and go, okay, well, this is one tree. Okay, so this is where I'm gonna have one tree arm and we're gonna fix that. Here's another tree arm and here's another tree arm. Now we're gonna tweak that. We're gonna make it look better. It takes some finagling. And like this is way too pointy, so maybe I need to shove some of that clay down in. And now I'm gonna flip it over again. I keep flipping it back and forth because it just makes it work easier. So come in, grab your little cheap tree branches. This one needs to look bigger, and I know it's like, oh my God, you made your tree look so skinny. It's okay, it'll get better. Grab from here. That looks really wonky right now, but it'll get better, I promise. All right, you just kind of keep working. Once you kind of get the shape, okay, well now we're looking like a little bit more of a tree. Now we're gonna start kind of smushing it in and making it look better. So we can condense it again, and I don't want my pieces to be so squished, so we're gonna actually push them down a little bit and just keep working it. All right, so one final tip when you get it looking somewhat more tree-like, I was using a paintbrush just as a nice tool to kind of come in and give me smoother lines, so I can come in and get smooth lines right here. And when it starts looking like, you know, the alien from Beetlejuice, it has that kind of claw, that chair that sucks up that lady in the first movie, starts looking like that. To make it more look like a tree, start pulling all of these down and like smush them downward. And then just make sure that they look a little more pointed. And if you need to kind of tuck and push them back in, this is giving you more of the tree vibe. That looks pretty tree-like to me. And keep in mind, this is supposed to be like a Little Debbie snack cake. How perfect of a tree does that look like, right? It doesn't. So I'm spending way too much time trying to make this thing look perfect when it does not need to be. An eye pin, I think it's called an eye pin, and I'm gonna squish that in there. And as this dries, it's gonna dry to that pin. This just needs to start setting to dry a little bit. So let's push that off to the side. And you know, like this tree branch is a little bit thicker than that one, whoopee-doo. Like it doesn't need to be perfect in any way, shape, or form. So I have another section of clay. And I'll just say this particular clay that I got, it feels more like slime than clay. It does work. There's better clays out there, but it still works. So there's two things that you can do. The first one is grab a marker. I have a variety of different markers, and these are all alcohol-based markers. I have found using alcohol-based markers, I'm just gonna use my Olo, makes the color last longer. I have had some little clay pieces, I'm just marking up the clay, that I used with water-based markers, like just like Crayola markers or just Tombow markers, and over time they faded. The alcohol markers are going to stay closer to color, and so we're trying to get that beautiful red. So again, I'm trying to hit that red color that's in here. So you're going to have to do this a bunch of times. You could keep adding color, and you can keep using your marker and go in, spread it out, add marker again, and you're going to have to do this about 15 to 20 times to get it to be that dark red. And I have a dark red already. It just takes a long time because you're having to color all of that white clay and make it a dark color. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but it works. Like it's already starting to get darker. But like I said, I have a hack. My hack is, if you've got alcohol ink, this is the Tim Holtz, this one's the Adirondack alcohol ink. It's from Ranger. Use this instead. It's a concentrated ink, and I can just put it in the center here, and you can actually see it starting to like soak up into the clay. Here we go. Here we go. And the one I'm using right now is cranberry, so something reddish. I like the cranberry because it looks closest to color. And then roll it in. You're probably gonna get mucky fingers, and I'll show you how to clean up your desk. But do it on your glass mat, do it on something. But oh my gosh, look how fast that turned into color already. Roll it in here, get as much of that color that you got. Go wash your hands after so you don't get your clay all funky. But look how quick that turned into the perfect color. Look at that. Look how fast that was. It was like 6 or 7 drops. So fast. And look how deep and beautiful that color is. So now just take a look. That's pretty darn close. I might add 1 or 2 more drops just to get it to even be a richer color. I'm gonna go back to that cranberry again. And what's weird for this particular clay, it actually makes it more malleable when I'm adding in the alcohol ink. I also tried paint, but it made it stiff. Something about the paint did not make the clay work really well. This makes it almost like butter. It's so easy. It's actually better with the alcohol ink in it, which is so weird. All right, so that is done. And I call that pretty true to color, wouldn't you say? Now, how to clean that up. In my little bottles, this is an old bottle that I have. I put alcohol in it, like 70% isopropyl alcohol. Spray it, and you can already see it starting to lift. The desk I use for my crafting is actually, I made it, and it comes from, I'm just getting a paper towel. Look, it's already starting to pull. It's made from a countertop. This is for my good countertop. And I put that on top of a piece of plywood to form my desk. So I knew this would clean up easy. I'm gonna go clean my hands because last thing I wanna do is get all this red on my beautiful white clay fake ornament. So let's go clean my hands. Clean hands. I'm gonna take off a little pinch and we're gonna roll it. And we're just gonna keep rolling until we get to look like that, right? Now we're gonna come in with our clay. That's where you want to, this is where I made the mistake. I made them too straight. So you want to make them look wonky, all right? This is the key to making this look more realistic. So come in and then drape it. And just kind of come in, tuck it, and then pinch it off. And you might get some little stringies, and that's okay. Kind of lift up and then tap it down. Now, key thing is, if you touch the clay and you're like, oh, I don't want it there, and you're trying to lift it up, it's gonna stick because this clay is still wet. Or it's not dry yet. If you let this fully dry, you'll be fine. All right, then it would pull off easier. But it's better when you work a little bit wet because then it will stick better. Because I'm not using any glue, it's just clay to clay. Come in with another one. And just make sure they're not straight. That was a better one. To make them look kind of swoopy. Come in with another one. All right, so keep on forming all of your lines. So there's more lines, more little straight, snaky-like things, however you want to call them. I'm gonna call that pretty good. Make sure you go all the way down to the base because they do too. I'm really using the snack cake as my inspiration for what I'm doing. I've had these beads forever. They're little green beads that I've had for ages, and I think I've owned these for about 10 years, and I just cracked this open for this project. This is why I hang on to all my craft crap. This is why we're hoarders, because we're like, we're gonna use it someday. Whatever green beads you have, something bead-like, it could be chunky pieces of glitter, it could be whatever you want. I wouldn't use true candy because then it might get, ants. I am going to use a Barely Art glue, mostly because it's got a nice precision tip. And I'm gonna dump a bunch of beads out. There we go. Probably way more than I need, but that's okay. Now, this is Barely Art glue. It's got a nice precision craft tip. And so I'm just gonna come in, I'm gonna do a little, this was just my template for the tree. I'm gonna make sure I got my glue going. I do. Now we're gonna add little drops of glue. Wherever I have a glue is where we're gonna put a bead. Please be random with this. Make it as random as you possibly can. This is my favorite tool when it comes to small things. This is like a little sticky picker upper. This one's called the Crystal Katana. It's meant to use with small gems. And you basically just pick it up and then the glue drops it. And it's as simple as that. So you just pick up and drop. And the white glue is gonna dry clear, so we're not gonna see that white glue that's on there. And dry totally clear, and just pick up and drop. All right, it still needs to air dry, and I would definitely let it sit overnight before I did anything. But the one that I did, and this one I did about a week ago, it's on there. And these are on there, it is hard stiff. I will have to say the little eyelet piece I put in the top, I can pull that out. So if you wanted to add, now that you've made the hole for it, you could add a tiny bit of glue right in there, pop this in here, and then it would be set. So that's an easy thing to do. And then just use whatever ribbon or twine that you want to. And there we go, super cute little ornaments, all made with clay that look like little Debbie snack cakes. And next up is our glitter ornaments. And I know they've been around for a while. I'm gonna show you a super fast and easy way to make a glitter ornament and then add a little something extra on the front that is a little bit of a easy and fun, quick design. So I grabbed these little plastic ornaments from Dollar Tree. They had them in a bunch of different designs. You're gonna see like traditional balls. I think they even had some other fun shapes, but I've picked this kind of flat sphere. It's not really a sphere, it's more of just like a flat smash ornament because I wanted the surface area to paint on. So step one, take off the top. There's a lot of different things that you can put inside of the ornament to give it the stick that the glitter sticks inside because we're glittering the inside, so therefore it doesn't get all mucky. But I found that this Glitter It from Beacon is awesome. It's a liquid, it goes in super easy. Peel off the top, squirt it right on in. There it is. You don't need a ton. I just kind of cut my hand on here, make sure I have a nice seal, and then just shake the bejesus out of it. Just want to make sure you coat the entirety of the inside. We're just coating the inside of all this. Don't worry about the bubbles. You're never going to see any of that. As you can see, I have a little paper plate right here, and I'm just going to dump the excess. You could technically put it back inside the bottle, but you know, it's not that much. This is my glitter stash. I mean, this is row 1, 2, 3, and there is a 4 and a 5 up there as well. So I've got pretty much the entire rainbow of glitter to pick from. As you can tell, I've already done a purple one, which is really pretty. And of course, you know, I've got to do a teal or a blue or a turquoise because that's just me. All right, so whatever glitter you have, if whatever glitter you have on hand, just make sure it's a fine glitter and not a chunky glitter. It just works a little bit better for this project. Pop the top. Okay, you gotta do that at the same time as I pop it. And then you just pour it in. It's got kind of a fun texture to it. I did not realize I picked a texture one, so we'll see if this is gonna work. I'm gonna take the top off because this is gonna make this a little easier. All right, now pouring it in. And then same again, put your hand on there and then shake away. And I didn't put enough. Look, I still have excess, so I need to add some more. I'm just gonna add a ton more because why not? Ah, that's better. I mean, do you see that? That's so cool. You could save the glitter, but it's got little pieces of adhesive from the Glitter It on there. If you were gonna make multiple of these and you're doing the same colors, again, you could dump it into the next ornament, but the only mess you really have is excess glitter. If you're not a fan of glitter, then just skip the glitter part and you can jump right to the decorating part. So you can go grab the plastic ornaments and just leave them as clear plastic ornaments, and then you can just decorate them with these new markers from Sharpie. These are called the Creative Markers, and they come in a nice round number of colors. Now these are the brush tip pens, and I am going to use the white because I think it pops on there, but just look at all the colors. There's a ton of them. I'm gonna start off with my spiral. So I'm gonna start from the center. And it's probably not gonna look exactly the same as that one, which is fine. And I'm just gonna start from the center and I'm gonna spiral. I'm gonna make my spiral bigger. I thought I was going to, and I'm just gonna end there. On the other one, I ended at the bottom. This one I'm ending at the top. First step is I'm gonna do circles. So I'm gonna start with some circles. And they don't have to be perfect. My spiral is not perfect. But you can do whatever design you want. I mean, you can have fun with this. And then around my circles, I'm gonna do little dots. And that's as hard as that gets. If I wanna do some bigger dots, it's kind of like a mandala effect, but kind of in a spiral form. But make it what you want. All right, so that's kind of one design I do. Another design is I come in and I just do like little leafy things. Like that. And I keep moving the spiral around, or moving my ornament around. And it's just these two basic designs, circles and little ferny things. One of the things I do with the ferny things is I add little like kind of balls to the end of them. So I add little circles to the end. Just kind of finishes it. And another one that I do, and you can see it over here, sometimes I'll give them like little dots on there, and then sometimes I just leave them as is. So it's, oh, actually I didn't. It's either balls or it's the little ferny things. And you just keep on going around and doing the same thing until you get all the way to the end. And you have fun with it. So if you've got a senior's home, if you've got a whole group of people that are doing this, you could either have them do the glitter. It's not that messy, it really isn't. You could, but if you don't want to do that, you could give them these markers, or there's other paint markers out there, and then they can decorate their ornament themselves and they can have fun doing that. And it's just making fun designs. I'm just doodling.
I cannot draw shapes to save my line, but I can do doodles. So just play around and enjoy and create. And have fun with your colors too. I mean, you could add all kinds of fun colors to this if you wanted to. Now you don't want to touch this right away. Like if I go back in and I did this one 15 minutes ago, it is dry. So if I try to mark on this, I'm just going to go up here and I try to wipe, it would just wipe clean. So if you make a boo-boo, it's easy.
Look how cute these are. I love these. They're fast, fun, and easy. They have a big wow effect and anybody can make them. It's a cutie little sleigh made out of popsicle sticks. You can grab all these supplies. You probably already have them in your craft stash already. Basically, it's popsicle sticks, some bells, some twine, a little bit of felt, and some paint. Oh, don't forget your hot glue.
You need 4 popsicle sticks for your base. Here you can see that. You need 2 for the sides, which are these little pieces, and then 1 for the top. I like these little short ones. They do make it like a little more of a clean finish. But if you don't have them, you can snip them the way that I'm doing, and it would just have a flat edge. So you can take a large popsicle stick and trim it down. So let's start with the middle section first. I have these little snips here. These are ones I also use for cutting my dies when I'm doing my card making, because sometimes they come all attached. But even something as simple as some little metal plier kind of things, or even scissors would totally work. Start off with we're gonna do the inside first. Let's grab the inside popsicle stick. So just kind of come in here and trim. And then the second one, you're gonna want to trim to be about the same. Now this popsicle stick's got some kind of weird, funky section missed out of it, so I'm gonna swap that for a nicer looking one. And I want these to be roughly the same length. And then keep these little pieces, because this is what's going to end up giving our stabilization on the back of our sled. Now I want these ones to be a little bit longer, so we're just going to trim a tiny bit off of that. Same amount. Again, ballpark. Ooh, that one didn't trim very well. But you know what? We're going to work with it. We're going to end up hiding that. We can put it on the back side and you won't even know it's there. So we're going to swap this. There we go. And we're going to flip that over, because we're going to have some things that are going on that little side. So you're never going to know that that's going to be like that. Plus we're going to have this going over across the top. So half that's going to get hidden anyway. So if you make oopsies, don't worry about it. You're fine. All right. First step first, we're going to actually call this the back side, because that's a little bit of a nicer front, is we are going to go ahead and add our glue. So we're going to go ahead and take all of our little pieces right here, line them up, get them as top centered as possible, grab some glue right there, and place down your stick. And this is going to be the first piece to kind of hold the whole thing together. And we're going to do the same thing down here. Go across here. That's why it's nice to kind of keep these little sticks. Pop that on there. There we go. Now we're going to add the side pieces. Now this kind of went out a little over the edge. It was a little longer, so I'm just going to come in. Woo! And that went flying across my desk. A little snippy snip right there. And now we're going to attach our side pieces. So we're going to go along the edge here. Go all the way down and take your longest one and place it right here. And we want to kind of put this against the edge of our desk, and that way it sticks straight up. All right, now we're going to do the next one, and we're going to want to match the length. So again, go down the edge here, and we can clean up all of our little hot glue oopsies in a minute. Probably put way too much on there. Place that down, and then I want to line this up so that the tops of these are about the same. And just kind of hold it in place to make sure everything is nice and set. And just go right across the top, and that's where we're going to cover up our little oopsie, and that's where this little piece comes in. And it covers up all those little imperfections. And that's the base of our sled.
I did this one in white. I also did another one in red, and we're gonna do this one in gold. So I'm using this Josana paint from Chroma Paint, and it's really pretty because it has this pearlescent color to it. It's really gorgeous. So we're gonna paint this entire sled in gold. But here's the red and the white ones that I used for the other ones.
And then just paint, giving it a nice pretty color. And when I'm painting it, I want to paint the entirety, so not just the top. I want to paint the bottom, the inside, kind of everywhere. So don't forget to flip it over, get the back side, get all those little nooks and crannies. All right, the nice thing about copy paper is I can let it sit here and dry while I move on to the next step.
And I'm gonna go clean my paintbrush before it gets all dried and nasty, so off to wash. So while that's drying, let's move on to the next step, which is cutting the felt that we need to put on the top. So I have a couple of dies here. I've had these for forever, and they're just leaf dies, something to do with leaves that look kind of Christmassy.
I have my little die cut machine. I also have some Kuhn and felt, which is made out of 100% recycled plastic bottles, and you can find it at all your big box stores. whatever felt you have on hand, you can use. You can also use paper, you can use whatever, and I'm just placing these on here. It doesn't matter what order or what color you do them in. I've picked green because they're leaves, but you can pick whatever color you like. And if you don't have a die cut machine, if you've got a bigger die cut machine, this is just my little mini one I use, which is so nice because it's nice and small. But whatever you have, use. If you want to use your big die cut machine, if you don't have a die cut machine, I'm running it back just to make sure it gets cut out nicely, then use paper, use your Cricut, fussy cut it with scissors. The nice thing about felt is that you can die cut it, and it's just a cool image. And I still have paint on my fingers. Sign of a good crafter. So we're just pulling these out. If you notice, I have a couple of spots where it's kind of pulled. Just take your scissors and just kind of clean that up. So we're gonna add a tiny bit of glue going across here, and then we're gonna take some of our twine and place it right in here. And I'm gonna add glue going down this way. And then add this to there. We're gonna try and get these bells into here. And the big one's easy. It's got a nice big hole. If this is just too finagly for you, I totally understand. And I'm very tempted to go get my reading glasses to put this on because they're so tiny. Now, one tip I have for you is take the end and kind of twist it, just like that. And then that's how you can push that through. And then grab the end and then pull. I did it, I did it. Now hold them together, tie a little knot right there, and then just little bunny ears. Tie yourself a bow and then make your bow nice and tight. Just a regular bow that you would do for your laces. Now we're just assembling. So now we're gonna come in with our hot glue and we'll do our bigger leaf first, right there. Smaller leaf there. There we go. And then right where the two kind of intersect, that's all there is to that. Look how fast and easy that is. Cute they all are. I love them. And you can make them any color you want.
I have to say, I think I like the gold and the red the best, but I don't know. The white one's pretty cute too. And they jingle. Now onto our last craft, which is these super cute wreaths made from using a lot of your felt stash. So the first thing you need is grab your green felt and let's get started.
And then it's just all about cutting it in strips. We're gonna cut about 1-inch strips, and I cut it in sections that are about 1 inch in length strips, and then you cut them into squares. And they don't have to be perfect. Like, those are not perfect squares. So just ballpark what you think about 1 inch is gonna be from all of your scraps that you have, and then just cut. I picked any color of green I happen to have in my stash. So here's another beautiful one. This is kind of this olive greeny color. And I've already cut some, but we need to cut a few more. You need about 100 squares. I'd rather cut more and not use them all than like be halfway through the project and then not have enough. So don't worry about if some are a little bit smaller or some are a little bit bigger, or if they're not, you know, perfectly perfect. I'm even gonna use up some of this stuff here. It's like that. Totally fine as a square.
Now all of our felt squares are cut. It's time to pull out the wire.
This is just floral wire that I have in my stash. And you want to basically make it, okay, I want my wreath to be about that big. So kind of guesstimate, and then go a little bit longer. If you notice, I was using my red scissors. It has this little handle on it. This is my fabric only or felt only scissors. And so I have another pair that I don't give a crap about, and that's what I was cutting my wire with. Now here's the key thing. On one end, give yourself a little loop. That way when you don't push your felt off. So give yourself a loop. On the other end, you want to cut at as severe an angle as you possibly can to basically turn it into like a needle. So as angly as you can make this, here it is. And you want it as pointy as possible. And now you've got like a little needle, so then all you have to do is take your felt and shove it on, and it pokes right through. Sometimes you get a little stuck, and you'll see a couple of these kind of get stuck, but for the most part, they just go right on. And I remember how I cut this to be a little bit longer. So if it starts to get dull, or if the top of your wire gets to be a little bit, like sometimes they get smushed down and kind of wonky, then just recut a new section. So it's nicer to have a long section, and then just push it down to the bottom. That's why we have that loop. So there's that bottom, and then just start stringing it on. You're gonna spend a few minutes trying to get all this on there, and that's okay. Again, put on your favorite show. It's easy. And be random about your colors. If you have two colors that are the same that went in, that's fine. If you do a pattern, that's fine. If you just grab whatever happens to be in front of your fingers, that's fine. I wouldn't do like 10 of the same color in a row, unless that's the look you're going for. Now, I chose to do all of these in green to make it look like it's a real wreath. But if you want to make it rainbow, if you want to make it teal, if you want to have a pink wreath, you can have fun with this because you can pick whatever color of felt you would like. There's so many fun things that you can do, and it's just using up all of your scraps. It's just, you can do them in patterns. You can have it like go Roy G. Biv. You can have it be whatever you like. I just went traditional on this one because it was the most common color that I had of scraps was green, which is kind of funny. Now I've got quite a bit on here, and I'm going to start checking it. So I'm going to take it, I'm going to grab that little loop, and I'm going to go, is that as big as my wreath do I want? And I'm like, let's do maybe about 5 or 6 more, and then I'll check it again. So it's always easy to take it off or to add more before you completely close it. So just do yourself a quick favor and do your check. And another fun tip is like just add a whole bunch. You probably saw me doing this in the speed up section. Just add a few at a time up to the top and then move them down. And if it gets kind of crinkly like that, just straighten it back out again. Let's add a couple more. So 1, add some more light, bright greens on there. Let's do a couple in a row. There's no wrong way. Move all your squares to the center just like that, and then grab your 2 pieces of wire and then start twisting. And you want to get it as tight on there as possible. It looks better when it's kind of nice and snug. And then just twist. And just twist. And then right where it's all twisted, right in there, go in with your wire cutters, whatever. You could use scissors. You actually want to pull out some like little trimmers and then just snip. And you don't want to snip too far down because you don't want this to come undone. So right where we have it, since it's kind of opened right now, that is where we're going to put our hanger. So just grab, I just grab twine. Twine is the easiest thing for a hanger. I always have so much ribbon, whatever you want to use. A little knot at the top and boom. And then now kind of fill it in. All right, so now I've got my little ribbon hanging on there or my whatever. And then I'll come in and I'm gonna use my felt scissors again. And I'm gonna go, okay, well this one looks really wonky. Let's just come in and trim it. Give it a little haircut. Anywhere it looks kind of like, oh, that's sticking out too far. That looks really kind of weird. Give them little trims. They're all going which directions because you've got all the little corners of all the squares going every which direction. So if you add, you know, some funky edges to that, it's not going to make it look weird. It's actually going to make it look a little better if you give some haircuts to this. And just do it to however you like it. So if that looks pleasant to you and you're like, oh yeah, that looks pretty good, then you're done.
I'm using felt glue for this project, but whatever glue you have on hand, hot glue, Elmer's glue, whatever would work to glue felt to fabric and to pom-poms and all that kind of stuff, that's what you want. But I like the Beacon felt glue. It's easy to use and it dries clear and it has a great hold.
Right at the top here, we're gonna add our bow, so just a little dollop of glue. And pick out whatever pom-poms you want. And I like the nice small ones, the itty bitty ones. And just start adding in a little bit of glue. I like kind of going a little on the outside, a little on the inside, a little on the outside, a little one up there, a little more glue right there. And put your pom-poms down. I don't want to put red too close to the red, so I'm going to do the white there, and then I'll do the red down here. And I think I need to add one more. I'm going to add a peach up here. So I picked peach, white, and red for my pom-poms on this, but you can pick whatever you like. Instead of doing the peach, I did the white and the red because I think they pop really well, and then I did pink. So you can do whatever you like. You can have all kinds of fun. You could do all kinds of different colors. You could do multicolor, or you can just stick with a couple of tones depending on what you like.
I mean, look how super cute this ornament is to make. So fast, fun, and easy, and it's a great way to use up your felt stash. Just trying to decide which one I like better, peach or pink. Thanks so much for watching. I bet you already have a lot of these supplies in your stash, but if not, supply links are down below where you can grab them, and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye-bye.